Welcome back to New Rockstars. Who will win the year of 2025 in the box office? Will it be DC Studios' Superman or Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four First Steps, or no one, as these movie superhero franchises collapse under the weight of expectations and filmmakers like Bong Joon-ho and Ryan Coogler could inherit the earth?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they still can. People can still be very excited for these. Those movies might be the ones that get the Oscar buzz, but which one's going to get the critic and audience buzz? And that one's going to be Craven. And that one's going to be everyone's talking about Craven right now. And I'm glad I did not put that on my 2024 roster. Either way, this is a sneak peek where we talk about the future of fandom. But today we're talking specifically about our 2025 picks. I don't like this one. I hate this.
It's a nervous, it's definitely a scary one to do.
Put Joker Folie à Deux as my number one.
So what crazy picks will Jess and I have this time?
What if I did put Craven as number two?
You're lucky you didn't put Craven on that list.
I didn't put Craven on that list.
So Jess and I are going to rank our top 5 movies and television / streaming for 2025. These are the known movies and television shows or streaming shows that have been announced. There may be new shows and movies that get announced after this episode has been shot and uploaded. We learn more about these things throughout the calendar year. Last year, we had to make some changes because, Jordan Peele's movie got delayed and Andor got delayed. So we're going to do our best here. And we'll check back in like a year from now to see, or at least after all these have come out, to see if it was like worth the hype. But really, this is not what we think will be the best movies of the year. It's what each of us are most excited for as of December 2024.
Speak for yourself, because after Joker Folie à Deux, I'm not falling for this trap again. I'm not falling for it again. I look like an idiot the first time. I know I look like an idiot again.
Well, I just want to qualify it because I really do think that, like, I can be excited for something selfishly, and it can have nothing to do with like the actual quality of the product, like according to critics and awards conversation. But it speaks to like what I am nerdily excited for.
I chose based off of what I think the hype will be for this project. One of the projects I chose, I have never seen, and I put it in my top 2, but I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go with my heart this time. I'm going to go with what I think the hype meter is actually going to be about. Things that I'm still genuinely excited for. I didn't put anything on that list that I'm genuinely not excited for. You don't see me putting Craven up there. I keep using Craven as the example.
You're beating up hard on Craven.
I've never seen so many videos damning a single property than like since Madam Web. Like every single human being that has like a value in some specific genre all equally hate Craven the Hunter. They hate that dialogue so much that they wrote it down on their popcorn buckets to remember when they come out. Like that's how much these people were like, I'm scorned.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with our movies, and we're going to start at number 5 and work our way up. And if you say something, Jessica, that I have on my list higher up, we will save our talking about that till we get to the higher one. And because I assume we might have some overlap with our list.
Yeah, I think so.
And then after we're done with movies, we'll move on to TV and streaming. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think my movies are stronger than, because that's the thing. There's so many TV shows, many TV shows, not that many movies.
Yeah,
not that many movies. So my movie list is probably the strongest out of the 2.
Okay.
My number 5 is Mickey 17.
Okay, I have that higher on my list.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait till we get to the higher one. My number 5 is Superman.
Oh,
James Gunn's just number 5.
5.
I just have 4 more that I'm more excited for. Now, the fact that Superman made my top 5, I think we have to celebrate, because it's like there's a lot of movies coming out next year. So to get in my top 5 is a coveted spot. So you're welcome, James Gunn. I've seen the trailer for this movie. I'm very excited for it. Specifically, James Gunn is going for something that is not like his past. Oh, wait, do you have Superman on your list?
No, I do, but I do. But
okay, then we'll wait.
I want to hear why you put it at number 5.
Okay, then let's just talk about Superman now.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, that's what
okay, so yeah, I think it is going to be different from what James Gunn has done in the past, specifically with his marketing. Yeah. What we know about James Gunn is he loves to be like jokey, sarcastic, a lot of like crass jokes, a lot of like pop culture tracks. The only pop culture track in this trailer is just like a guitar cover of John Williams Williams Superman score from the Richard Donner film.
That's cute.
He's aiming for Richard Donner, but not exactly in the way that like Bryan Singer aimed for Richard Donner in 2006 as Superman Returns. He's doing this kind of like almost like we live in a world where there are meta-humans on this planet already. Lex Luthor already has a relationship with, it's not an origin story. And the reason why it's not higher on my list is there's a bit of a concern that James Gunn might just be trying to do too much in this movie. And I think he has to try to do all this stuff for better or worse. He has to prove a concept to everyone that this whole universe of this Gods and Monsters DC slate will be worth their time. And that's hard to do with one movie. But a lot is riding on him. And I think it'll be good. I'm more confident. Well, number 4 on my list. I don't think we'll be as good as Superman, but I'm just a little bit selfishly more excited for that
that's
one.
Okay. You have to mix confidence with what I'm most excited for. And I understand what you're saying with James Gunn. Do you think it's based off the trailer that it's a lot? The fact that he did say that like we're not planning on making a second Superman movie, we're just like making one
for now.
Which is kind of like, cool lingo for being like, don't worry, like what you get is what you're gonna get. But he's gonna try making a second one. But do you think it's because there's too many characters?
I don't think there's too many characters. I think that there are too many narrative agendas that James Gunn is trying to satisfy. Now, again, this is really just based off of interviews and based off of the state of the DC fandom right now. It is so split. And I think what James Gunn is really trying to do is produce a movie that is grounded and human, maybe a bit somber, but at least hopeful and wholesome. And I think he wants to try to unite everyone. And I don't know if a single movie can do that in America right now.
I will say that's the only positive side is like, if it can be a movie, it's probably Superman, He's aiming
for, and you could see this in our trailer breakdown. It's on the channel at this point. He is trying to make Top Gun Maverick of summer 2025. Like the music is Top Gun Maverick, the filmmaking style is Top Gun Maverick, that was the movie of summer 2022 that united America.
It did.
And people didn't know they needed it. They didn't know that they needed this like 80s action patriotic story around a figure that they have mixed feelings about. But it worked for Top Gun Maverick, and I feel like the sauce could be there for Superman. This will be a huge step for James Gunn. And I know he can make a certain type of movie really well. He's one of the filmmakers I'm most excited to see his stuff. But he has not done this yet.
Yeah.
And if he can pull this off, the guy can do anything.
Okay. I get it. Superman's higher on my list.
Okay.
But understandable. I'm excited to see what your other 4 are. My number 4 is 28 Years Later.
Okay, I have that higher on my list. So
what is going on?
Okay, so I like the overlap.
What your 1 and 2 are now.
We can't go there yet.
I know.
So let's talk about 28 Years Later first, and then we'll talk about Mickey 17, because we both have those on our list. You just broke down 28 Years Later's trailer.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Talk about what you're excited
That trailer is phenomenal. It's so great. It also is a movie that I think everyone loves nostalgia, but this is like beyond nostalgia because we just never thought we'd actually get it. 28. I didn't watch 28, or I did watch 28 Weeks Later, but I was very young when it came out, and I didn't like it as much as 28 Days Later. So I rewatched 28 Days Later all the time in like middle school and high school. And then I was like, they're never gonna make it 28 Years Later. They always talked about it, but they never were gonna do it. I'm 30 years old now. And they're like, here's a trailer. I will be 31 when the movie comes out. And I'm like, oh, it looks so fun. It looks so delectable. And there is just something right now about post-apocalyptic worlds, even if it's like The Last of Us zombies or just the Walking Dead, that watching civilization keep moving forward and how they have to exist in that time is just so like I eat it up. I love watching how humanity will die off, like how we try to survive. So I am so excited for that, and any kind of zombie world that's like, oh, we're already living, not the like transitioning into like, oh, we're running, hiding from the zombies. We're living in it. So I'm very excited for 28 Years. Oh, it's my number 1 thriller horror movie for next year.
And that is your number 4?
Number 4.
My number 3 is 28 Years Later. Okay. I am just excited to have Danny Boyle and Alex Garland reuniting. Yes. I mean, Alex Garland in this past year made A24 Civil War and is an accomplished filmmaker on his own, right? So just the fact that he wants to go back to just writing a good script for Danny Boyle, I'm very excited to see what they come up with. I agree with you. That trailer is one of the coolest teasers or trailers that have come out in like I think the past 5 years. Like it is so good, and this is how all trailers should be edited. Turn them into small, interesting, artistic expressions.
But that's
of
the
short
thing;
films.
it's just a teaser trailer, so you know when the actual trailer comes out, it's not going to be like
It's not gonna be
this.
as good,
But
it's gonna be designed to sell tickets. You know,
But I love that teaser. That teaser, if that was the trailer,
So
we
good.
don't know what's happening still. We don't know what's happening still. There's a lot of weird like religious allegory in it, and I'm like, we still don't know what's happening. Please don't give me a trailer. I don't want to watch the next trailer.
And I'm just ready for Aaron Taylor Johnson redemption. Like this poor guy had a rough December. He deserves better, and I think 28 years later we'll give him that redemption.
I'm sorry. I keep slamming the table because I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for ATJ, but he's such a fun character in Nosferatu that's coming out later in December, which is great. I don't think it will outweigh what Craven has done, but I think 28 years later we'll redeem him.
So just to recap, my number 5 was Superman. Your number 5 was
Mickey 17.
Mickey 17. Let's talk about Mickey 17. Mickey 17 is my number 2.
I'm so proud. I'm so happy it made higher than what I expect. Again, I'm doing my hype meter based off of what I think everyone's hype will be. And I think the other 4 properties I chose, people will be more excited for than Mickey 17. But if you love that director, if you love Robert Pattinson, if you love the people that are acting in that movie, which are amazing people, the woman in the movie is in Don't Blink. And that was a movie for me. So it's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. I just finished the book. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. I think Bong Joon-ho is one of our best working filmmakers right now. And he is just one of these directors who has not made something bad yet.
Yeah.
And like, it's like watching a Denis Villeneuve movie, or it's like watching a David Fincher movie in like the 90s and aughts. And you're just like, okay, what are they going to gift to the world now? And like, I think Mickey 17 is, it is an adaptation of a known source material, but I think it's going to be great. Robert Pattinson keeps taking weird roles.
I love it.
And that's why it's my number 2. I think it's going to be great.
This is like his 3rd movie this year where he's doing a different voice. That's not his British voice. He would rather do any other accent than his just normal accent in roles and go off, have fun. He's going to have 2 movies. I think he's going to have this one and the one with Zendaya. It's called I can't remember, but he's gonna have a couple movies coming out next year, Robert Pattinson.
My number 4 is Wicked for Good.
Oh shit! I didn't even put Wicked on my list.
It's okay.
No,
it's represented.
I forgot.
It's represented. Wicked for Good is one where it's like, I don't know if it will be even in the conversation in terms of quality as the other 4 movies I mentioned, but we loved watching Wicked. We loved breaking down the first Wicked. Wicked for Good, the fact that they've titled it For Good just shows that they understand what they're doing with this sequel. Not a sequel, it's the part 2 of the story. And I think they got the goods for it. They're going to have some original songs. I think it's going to be better than part 1. People who don't know the story, if there are any out there, are gonna have their minds blown by the twists in Act 2. I'm very, very excited. Now, John Chu is of the 5 filmmakers that I single out on my list, the director that I'm probably least excited to see his stuff generally. Yeah. But I'm happy that he keeps making these big scale musicals, and he does a pretty good job with them. And we don't have enough directors who are doing that. Yeah, so number 4 on my list is Wicked for Good. So my I think I've covered my top 4. I did number 5 for me, Superman. Number 4, Wicked for Good. Number 3, 28 Years Later. Number 2, Mickey 17. We only have your...
well, my number 3 is Superman too, but we've already had our discussion about Superman. We do not need to go
Anything
further.
else you want to say about Superman?
No, I'm reading the hype meter for just in general hype, and I think there's going to be a huge hype for Superman. Personally, I'm not the biggest Superman fan. The only one I watched was a very, very old one. And I was like, this is fun, but I'm not really that interested in Superman. Farthest character for me to relate to. But I am so excited to see James Gunn try to get me to like it. I'm so excited for the challenge because I don't think there's going to be a challenge. Because I'm like, you already casted people I love. I love that you're not starting, the origin story. If I was getting an origin story, I'd instantly not like it because I already know. We all know. We've all seen every depiction of Superman. I'm so glad they're just throwing us in the middle of it. I'm like, I think I'm going to really like this. And this will be my first time being like, I love this I am Superman. I watched Supergirl on CW and I like that, but I just didn't like Superman.
Your number 2 movie.
Fantastic Four.
Okay. Fantastic Four First Steps is my number one.
Well, yeah.
So let's hear what your
Well,
number
yeah.
one is.
I don't want to say it now.
I think you have to.
Can I just show it to you and then you say it?
It almost made my top 5. So let's talk about Fantastic Four First Steps first. The reason why it's my number one most excited film for 2025 is that this is the movie Kevin Feige has dreamed of making since the beginning of Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios emerged out of whatever the two Tim Story Fantastic Four movies were in 2005 and 2007. And Tim Story deserves some credit because I believe, I might be wrong, it's either 2005 or 2007 Silver Surfer was the highest grossing movie directed by a black person until like Black Panther, I think, until Ryan Coogler.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Which was a huge accomplishment. Those movies did very well, and they were like proof of concepts of like what lessons Kevin Feige could apply to his universe. The 2015 Fantastic Four movie did not work. And without that failure, we would not have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in Marvel Studios universe now. So we should look at that. But I just think everything we've seen about this movie, from the art, from the comics they have said they're going to base it on, the proof of concept trailer that we saw at Comic-Con unveiled by Shakman, how focused they were on the Apollo 11 documentary, the cast that he's chosen for it, the score, I think. I think ultimately that brought it up to the top because Michael Giacchino's score just tells what I think will be the whole story of the movie. When he played that at the Hollywood Bowl, I can't think of any other music I've seen, including like what James Gunn has worked into the Superman trailer, just the music of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie, the curiosity of the title, how it could apply both to the Neil Armstrong walking on the moon and a child. And I get emotional when I think about it because my son will be taking his first steps in the next few months. And like, it's going to be a very exciting year for me in that regard. And I'm pumped for this movie. I think it's as important to Marvel Studios as
I think it's
Superman is.
I think it's
to
more
DC.
important because it's Fantastic Four.
That's an interesting debate.
I think it's Fantastic Four.
Well, if Fantastic Four underperforms, I think Marvel Studios will still make stuff.
No, we'll still do it, but I'm like, this is Fantastic Four. Like, there's been too many times that we've tried doing this, and the other ones I still very much love, but I'm like, there's too many times. Superman is Superman. There's been a million times. So it's like, hey, you're going to have fun with Superman regardless. Fantastic Four, hey, you're going to have to throw a really good ball. Like, this is going to have to be really good. And they are eating. Like, everything they've shown us so far, I'm like, and they're keeping so much top secret. Oh my God, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
It's your number 2.
It's my number 2 because genuinely, and I don't think anyone can argue with me, that the hype around the world, there's one thing that will probably beat Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm embarrassed about it.
You shouldn't be.
I am.
You shouldn't be.
I am.
It's a good pick.
It's a good pick, but I'm embarrassed. I couldn't even say it out loud the first time. It's Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar.
Avatar Fire and Ash coming in December 2025.
Look, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna eat that movie up. I eat every as soon as he said we're making like 4 more, everyone groaned and we all still go into that theater.
Yep.
We go see it in IMAX and Dolby. We go and see it. We do not watch it at home. We go to the theater to go see it. And I'm going to see this. Like I'm gonna see all the other ones.
And it's going to be
and
good.
It's going to be great.
I think it's a great pick, Jess, and I should have included it in my top 5. It's going to be a better movie than Wicked for Good is. I just don't think about Avatar until literally 3 weeks before I see the movie, and then exactly 2 weeks after, and then I never think about it again.
100%. That is, and that which shouldn't be the hype meter. Like the hype meter, yes. Hype afterwards, we just go, oh yeah, we saw it, and then we go home. Like it goes. It immediately goes. We get, and then we talk to our friends and we go, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's great. Let's keep going. That's what we do with Avatar. It's become our Harry Potters. It's become our like Twilights. It's just like, yeah, we go see it at midnight and then we just keep going.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Like James Cameron, we keep bashing him for these Avatar movies, and he keeps ending the conversation with just the quality of the work. And it's visually stunning. It is a great movie to go to the movie theaters to see. Like, it's a great cinematic experience. He pulls off impossible shot after impossible shot that like you can watch those movies again and again and just look at a shot and realize like I have no idea how he did that.
Yeah.
And just the shot from people talking about The Way of Water, how it like the close up of the Na'vi hands tying the knot as the water splashing on, like he literally did that practically. And it's just inserted in a specific way and did all these crazy things. He is just like, he's like Zemeckis. He's just one of these filmmakers with like all these tricks up his sleeve, and it's continuing to innovate. And even at his age is like, I'm going to come up with new ways to make films, and you'll see. And you'll
love it. And I eat it up. There's no man on this planet that I hate and love more than James Cameron. It is equal parts. I hate this man, but God, do I love this man.
If you've ever worked on a complicated project, you know how many different tools you need to get it done. Just for this video, we need different tools for writing the script, sharing the script, tracking when this video will be shot, assigning editors, doing revisions, and publishing. And I'm positive I'm missing a few things. It can get overwhelming unless you're using a project management tool like Notion. Notion is so useful, precisely because it gives you one place to track all of the moving parts of whatever you're working on. Think of it this way. If each tool your organization uses is a mutant, Notion is Professor X, the mastermind capable of making sure that everything is greater than the sum of its parts. And that's fine, but let's continue the metaphor one layer deeper. If Notion is Professor X, Notion's new suite of AI tools are like Cerebro, capable of magnifying his powers tenfold. Notion's AI tools are capable of keeping up with the full context of what you're working on. Unlike generic AI tools, Notion AI keeps up with your Slack discussions, knows every project update, and remembers Google Slides presentations. Notion AI combines the capabilities of an AI chatbot, writing assistant, and universal search. Plus, it's all built directly into your workspace, which saves you money and time. Plus, Notion knows that your information is your information, which is why Notion's AI assistant only surfaces info from the places you have access to and never, ever shares your data for AI training purposes. For instance, you could ask Notion, update me on Friday's video and any notable changes from the past 24 hours, including shoot times and publish dates, and Notion AI will comb through all of your connected apps to spit out that answer for you fast. To do that without Notion, I need to schedule a meeting, and nothing against the lovely team I have here at New Rockstars, but no thanks. I'm not a big fan of meetings. This is better. Thanks to Notion for sponsoring this video. Scan the QR code on screen or visit the link in my description to sign up for Notion AI today.
Now, over the course of the year, there will be other movies announced, other trailers that come out that will make us, let's take a guess, our picks. But just to recap, there's so much overlap, really. It's like 4 of the same movies, just in different orders, and one of us has a movie that the other doesn't. Jessica's top 5 goes Mickey 17, number 4, 28 Years Later, number 3, Superman, number 2, Fantastic Four First Steps, number 1, Avatar, Fire and Ash. My top 5 are at number 5, Superman, number 4, Wicked for Good, number 3, 28 Years Later, number 2, Mickey 17, and number 1, Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, other movies we did not include that we should single out. We did not mention Captain America Brave New World.
Yeah.
We did not mention Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
We did not mention Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah, I know.
We did not mention Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
And we did not mention, Black Bag. That's the new Steven Soderbergh movie that's coming out. That looks really good. The Gorge.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
If there was a hype meter for my own personal enjoyment, Gorge would be number 1.
You can. This is your chance. You can change something if you want.
Not a single person on Valentine's Day is going to watch that. We also missed, is that new Stephen King movie coming out next year?
Well, there's It, Welcome to Derry, the TV series is coming out next year.
I did not put that in my top 5.
We do not have Pixar's Elio or Zootopia 2 on our list.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Pixar's.
Now, there are going to be great movies that come out next year that are not reflected in this list.
Yes.
This is not like a New Rockstars like critics picks of what we think the best movies of the year will be. We just want to say that again.
Yeah, I'm sure. I didn't even put Sinners on my list. And Sinners would have been like on my list.
I almost had Sinners on my list. That does look really great. Ryan Coogler is another one of these directors.
Beautiful.
I'll watch everything he makes.
There was another movie that's not Stephen King, but it feels like Stephen King. I swear to God. Was there another one? I don't know. Maybe we'll remember it later.
2026 is going to be hard because not only will we have the Russo brothers coming back for Avengers Doomsday, Spielberg will have a film with the cast that's just getting bigger and crazier. Christopher Nolan will have a film.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams will have a film. I believe Fincher might have a film coming out in 2026. Jordan Peele has a movie coming out in 2026. That's going to be an insane year for movies. That's going to be a
good year for movies. I think our TV shows are going to be different because there's so many TV shows.
There are.
There's so many TV shows.
Okay. So you started with your number 5. I'll start with my number 5 for television. Daredevil Born Again.
That's my number 5.
Okay. Jessica and I both wanted it on our list. Let's talk about it. Benson and Moorhead are the showrunners now. They reconceived the project after an original version that was going to be kind of in a standalone or in the MCU, but not connected to the Netflix show. Since they have redone it, it is very much connected to the Netflix show. It's going to be like a season 4. Most of the cast, if not all of them, are coming back. Punisher's going to be in it. It's going to be in the MCU. I think it's going to be great. Yeah. I'm excited for like a legal, vigilante drama.
I think that's why it's at my number 5. Is I'm like, yeah, I've gotten Daredevil. This is like technically my 5th if I want to count the Defenders, 5th season with Daredevil, and I'm like, I'm very excited for this. I'm so excited for this. It has Bullseye and Punisher, and I'm gonna eat it up. But it is my number 5 because I'm like, it's still Daredevil. Like I know Daredevil. I'm hyped for it. But there's 4 other things I think I'm a little bit more hyped for. But I love it. I'm gonna eat this show.
We have on our merch store, nerdright.shop, a whole like Daredevil Punisher inspired face-off design. That's a really cool shirt. Grab one of these at nerdright.shop. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Gen V.
Okay.
Gen V.
I don't have it on my list. So
it's okay. I don't think actually maybe I feel like the people that love The Boys will have Gen V on their list, or love just gory horror or gory superhero things. Very excited for Gen V. Like a lot of my friends that don't watch a lot of superhero stuff or nerdy things, they're always asking me, Jessica, when is Gen V season 2 coming out? And I'm like, oh, I forget that like other people won't watch like Marvel, but they'll watch The Boys. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I forget you guys do that. You should try watching Marvel sometimes. It's still just as good. But yeah, I'm just excited for Gen V. I want to see where it goes. I know it's really sad that they lost one of their main characters, but I want to see how his storyline ends too.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch that show. I'm excited to watch your breakdowns of it.
It'll be very fun. Very fun little. I think this is also a good show to just watch off to the side. It's not that important. The stakes are never too high with The Boys, except for I take that back. The Boys, the stakes are pretty high. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when they're mirroring American politics.
Yeah. I don't know if I can just tune out to this show. Considering how much it's a satire.
Well, Gen V is more about the college, luckily. So it's not a lot. Like when I'm watching The Boys season 5, when I'm watching the finale of The Boys, I'm going to be like, I can't do this. I simply cannot. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Alien Earth.
Oh.
So this is
I did not put that on my list.
This is the Noah Hawley FX Alien Xenomorph series that has been in development for a long time. Noah Hawley is one of these showrunners and storytellers who, in my opinion, has not made anything bad. He has only made wonderful. He's done Fargo. He did Legion. Oh, hell yeah. He's just like FX's he's kind of golden child. And he's like, I wanted to do an Alien series. And they're like, great, do what you want to do. It's going to be a prequel set before the events of the 1979 Alien.
Oh, fine.
So it's just going to be about Weyland-Yutani and horrible things that they do. As a reminder, Alien Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens and those years in between. There's 57 years in between those two movies. So it's before that, but I don't think it's gonna tie too much to Prometheus.
It doesn't need to.
Prometheus is set about 30 years or so before the events of so I think it's just gonna be something disconnected, but it's also gonna be about shit Weyland-Yutani is doing with this experimentation on planet Earth. And we're gonna see planet Earth in the universe, which is something that like Alien Resurrection touched on a little bit with the space station above the planet. But like there's shit going on this planet that justifies why Weyland-Yutani has taken over. Romulus had some scenes that were set on Earth, or not Romulus, Prometheus did. But it was really just about getting off of the planet. So it's just going to be interesting. I really like what Prometheus did to establish like the Peter Weyland, like TED Talk fictional universe that led to those events. So I think Noah Hawley is going to make something incredible, and it doesn't have a release date yet, but it is coming out in 2025. It'll be on FX and Hulu, and I'd love to break it down. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. What's your number 3?
My number 3. And this is so fun because I realize our movies make sense to be in the same wheelhouse because they're movies. TV shows are a little different because it's like, how much can you pay attention? what are you doing during then? And my TV shows are ones you can like fold laundry to and cook, because my number 3 is Wednesday.
Yeah, great.
My number 3
Wednesday,
is Wednesday.
season 2 coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
When? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
November, I think, is when it's coming.
That far away?
Yeah, I think so. Why does it take them so long?
Yeah, what are they doing?
I don't know.
Spending that budget on Stranger Things. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, which is also taking forever.
Yeah, they moved the kids from Stranger Things into Wednesday, actually. But they could do that, I guess, if they really wanted to. I think Wednesday has its own hype meter. Like, there's a fan base for Wednesday that are very excited for season 2. I didn't mind season 1. I think it was really fun. I think it was really cute. Definitely, I think for a younger generation than what I am. But I think it was still very fun. And I think people are looking forward to anything that Jenna Ortega does.
Yeah. My number 3 is Severance, season 2. Is that on your list?
Yes.
Okay.
Much higher.
Much higher. Okay.
Much
so
higher.
we'll talk about it when we get to that. What is so your number 3 is Wednesday. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Severance.
Okay, so let's talk about Severance. Severance, first season, produced by Dan Erickson, and Ben Stiller is an executive producer for it. The coolest high profile, or one of the coolest high profile, like high concept pseudo sci-fi series that I think we've seen since. Like Westworld and Lost.
Yeah.
From is also very, very good. But I think more people have had their eyes on Severance just with, Adam Scott being involved in the Ben Stiller of it all.
And now the SZA.
Yeah. I would say From might be more of the thematic successor to Lost, just because it has like a main actor in it, Harold Perrineau. But this, I think, gets to like the workplace. If you were a worker drone within the Dharma Initiative, like I just think Severance is such a cool high concept show. The mystery crafting on Severance is unrivaled from any other show on TV right now.
That's why I'm surprised you put it at number 3.
There are just two shows.
I want to know what the other 2 shows
are. It almost made number 1 for me.
I really want to
know
what the other 2 shows
that I think are just better.
You're confusing me so much. I'm like, you love Severance, so I need to know. And the thing is, I will judge those other 2 shows because I know how much you talk about Severance. That I'm like, what are the other 2 shows? You talk about Severance the most. You talk about that more than White Lotus.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about Severance more than any other show.
There are 2 shows that I think are going to be more important to the world.
Euphoria, but Euphoria's not coming out
on the list.
I would judge you
if you put
Euphoria on the list.
Okay, my number 2 is Andor, season 2.
Okay, yeah.
Andor, produced by Tony Gilroy, was so confident in season 1, and in my opinion, the best Star Wars series we had gotten, creating these incredible moments. And from everything we know about season 2, that's only going to get better. It's going to be multiple eras of time. Every 3 episodes will be a year later as we get closer to the events of the Battle of Yavin and the events of Rogue One. I just don't see how this is bad. I think I think this is the top of my list in last year when I thought it was going to be coming out in 2024. But now there's another show coming out in 2024 that I think will be better. But I think Andor season 2, I just think I love the Star Wars universe, and I love what Andor has done within the Star Wars universe. I'm loving what Skeleton Crew is doing now, but just like Andor has a certain like heartbeat to it and a pulse to it that I think reflects the world we're in now. And I think about it constantly. I think about Nemec's manifesto from the Eye of Aldani storyline constantly in my life. I think about Luthen Rael's speech constantly. I think about the visuals, Ebon Moss-Bachrach's performance forever. And I think about Marva's big speech and the Empire constantly. And I'm just so excited to see what Tony Gilroy gives us for season 2. So that's why it edged out Severance, just because Severance, I feel like season 2 might be like Lost season 2,
or it might
just
be like
not as good.
Ted Lasso.
Yes.
Oh God.
Maybe.
I hope
not. So we have our top. We just have our top 1. Did I? No, I don't think either of us have said what our top 1 is.
Andor makes sense to be. Andor should be also on everybody's list for TV. I 100% agree with what I'm saying. I'm like, it should be on everyone's. It's not on mine.
Okay.
But that's because I am a child and I have the attention span of a goldfish. And during Andor, I kept being like, whoa, I need to wake up. My number one, because I have an attention span of a goldfish, is The Last of Us.
Mine too.
Easy.
Okay, so I think you can see The Last of Us is just like
Last of Us makes sense.
pick.
I still think I'm surprised you put Severance at 3 a little bit. Yeah. I thought it would be Severance would be number 2, but Last of Us, we're all excited to see where that goes because we know where it goes. But how are they going to do it?
And Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have done just such an effective job adapting Druckmann's story from the games into this HBO series. The trailer for season 2 seems to know exactly the right moves to make. My only concern is that The Last of Us Part 2, the gameplay, goes so far into Abby's storyline that they have said they're not even going to get to Santa Barbara until season 4. So it makes me wonder how much of the rest of the game they're going to break up to be in season 2 and season 3. We're avoiding spoilers right now for people who haven't played the games.
I think they're gonna try to break it up a lot. Also, I don't think we need to get too deep into Abby's stuff in the second season.
I think that's the plan, but they've shown Abby
There's
lot in the trailer.
There's a lot of other characters in that.
There are. There's just Abby's been a lot in the trailer, and I think are we just not even gonna get to? Is season 3 gonna be the Abby season then?
I think it might be. I don't know how to.
I think it's gotta be. I think it's.
Yeah, I think this will be the lift. This will be the start, and then it'll be. I want to say something so bad, and I can't. They're preparing it. They're gonna stretch it out. They're gonna make it work. The Last of Us is it's one of those shows that I'm so excited for, but I'm also not prepared for because it was every Sunday me crying, and I have not had to watch a show except since Pose that I was like, oh okay. Every time I'm gonna watch this, I know I'm gonna cry, and then I have to watch it for work, so I'm like, I have to watch it right now. Yeah. Jessica, watch it and deal with it. And it was just so emotionally horrible. I don't know if I'm in a place for it, but I'm very excited for The Last of Us season 2. Yeah. Give me a feel again.
Number 1 movie of the year. You and I should just do reactions to that on Sunday nights.
The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I think you want people to see us cry?
Yeah, I think they got to see us bawl our eyes out.
Every single
It's going to be a big event. Well,
every single line.
You know, in a world where there are so many IP in the hands of people we don't fully trust,
it's true.
The Last of Us is one North Star where we can feel like, Druckmann created an amazing story for Naughty Dog and redefined what games can do in terms of narrative structure. And Craig Mazin, as someone who loves those games, working in partnership with Neil Druckmann, has created like a near flawless adaptation for HBO, and has done things with the episode structure in the first season that I did not expect him to be able to do. The Bill and Frank episode was incredible, and I'm just excited to see what the Bill and Frank episode or episodes will be for season 2, because they're going to do it. They got to space it out if they're going to wait to do the Abby stuff until season 3, and it's just going to mean we're going to get great lore building and world building, and I'm super excited for this show. Like, I think it's going to be important for us, for the world.
It's a great show. It was everybody Sunday night tuning in on HBO. It replaced House of the Dragon for me. It easily, immediately on HBO's docket, I was like, well, I'm looking for The Last of Us. So I was like, I'm looking for The Last of Us. Is House of the Dragon season 3 coming out in 2025?
It's not, but A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is.
Oh, okay.
4 episodes of that coming in August.
Oh, yes.
Not on either of our lists.
Not on my list.
And I think we just don't really know what that show is going to be. We know what it's going to be based on, the Duncan Egg stories, but we don't. It feels like this is an example of HBO just trying to pull anything from George R. R. Martin's universe and turn it into a show, and we don't know if it's going to be worth it yet.
It's also like they're showing their cards doing that. They need to stop just pulling anything George R. R. Martin's doing. He doesn't even care anymore. He has a blog on literal Blogspot, denouncing everything they've done to his work, and I'm like, maybe stop pulling every extra property from him. He does not want you guys to even do it anymore.
So not on either of our lists was Stranger Things season 5.
No.
And I will be watching it, of course. But I just feel like they have taken so long to make that show. And I'm just like, all right, let's just end it.
My hype is not there for it. Like, I'm going to watch it. I think it has everything that the Avatar has for me, except for the excitement. I'm like, I just have to go see it. I'm also one of those people that I'm like, if I start a series, I usually finish it just because I started it. I'm like, I might as well just finish it. And that's me with Stranger Things. Even the last season, I was like, I just need to finish it.
Yeah.
I need to finish it. We're almost there.
Nothing from other than Daredevil Born Again. We don't have a lot of Marvel represented.
No.
Ironheart, Wonder Man, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think a lot of these could be really great, and we will be watching and breaking down all of this stuff, but we're just going to wait and see what they're able to get out like from these stories. I think there will be a lot of goodness.
Yeah, and neither of us put White Lotus.
No, but here's the deal. White Lotus is something I will always watch.
Yeah.
But season 2, was it season 2?
Yeah.
In the Amalfi Coast?
Yeah.
It was just like the way it ended was just so.
Okay. Is this fighting words that I was like, I was okay with it. Like it was, I think it was
crazy.
The first season, I think the beginning was very fun. Then at the end, I was like, oh, the stakes are not even here. I'm not competitive about anything. I'm not yelling about anything. It's just ending. And all I was invested in was Theo James's weird relationship, which I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
I was like, she saw his penis.
So the Theo James love quadrangle, whatever that is, best part of season 2.
The only part,
really the only good part, because you did, well, no, I like the Michael Imperioli, the father, son stuff.
I loved it, but it wasn't as like delicious or whatever you want to call it than the four-way relationship situation.
It was like, I think my favorite acting performance from Aubrey Plaza, and I'm including Agatha all along.
Yeah.
I think she was so good.
She was fine
in that show. I just think bringing back Jennifer Coolidge as the linking figure between season 1 and season 2 made no sense to me.
That was just a fan pull.
And the weird stuff with like the murder plot. And we all thought that she was going to be like assassinated for an inheritance plot. It was just so weird.
It was weird. But damn, did I love it. Like when they started putting that shit on t-shirts, the gays are killing me.
These gays are trying to kill me.
I think season 2 was more funny than anything. Season 1 was like me being stressed. Really, I was stressed I was like, girls, stop stealing the jewelry. Like I was yelling at every single group of people in season 1. But season 2, I was just like, this is very funny.
You have to give White Lotus and Mike White, I think is the EP, credit for just like identifying upcoming talent and knowing how to put them in stuff. Like the fact they put Sydney Sweeney and Fred Hetchinger in season 1 with like with Steve Zahn and
what's her name? I can't
Connie
remember.
Britton.
Yeah, Connie Britton.
What amazing casting there.
But he like typecast you, but the typecast is so well fitted, if that makes sense. I'm like Sydney Sweeney and that boy playing brother and sister, and him playing the annoying one that's finding himself in Hawaii. Doing the trope of like what every white person does. Like that, and then Sydney Sweeney just not giving two fucks about her best friend. That's clearly doing something. I was like, this is so, you are eating these roles up. I was like, you two are really devouring this roles like you've seen it in someone else near you in your life. I was obsessed with it. Oh my God, that family. Ooh, that family. That family was so good.
Also, neither on either of our lists. The Bear, season 4. It's because season 3 should not have split that season into two halves. They rushed season 3.
We didn't put Invincible either.
We don't have Invincible, but again, a show that we're excited for and we will be watching and breaking down. We don't have The Traitors on our list, but I am very excited for The Traitors.
I was genuinely thinking about putting Traitors on my list, and I didn't. But because I thought it was also like, oh, that'd be really cool to put like a reality show as one of my top 5s. But Traitors is a great show that people love.
Yeah,
I was thinking about it. I was literally thinking about it.
So let us know of the movies we've talked about. What is your top 5 ranking for TV and film? Which ones do you think we need to have on our radar if we didn't talk about it at all? But I'm very excited for this year, and I'm excited to see which of our lists. So just to recap for TV from bottom to top for you: Daredevil Born Again, Gen V, Wednesday, Severance, Last of Us. For me, similar list in terms of top and bottom: Daredevil Born Again, then Alien Earth, then Severance, then Andor, then The Last of Us. So I think for both of us, we're kind of cautiously optimistic for Daredevil Born Again and super pumped for The Last of Us.
Yeah, I love that our bottom and our top are the same.
Yep.
It's also not surprising that we have slightly same lists, but at least in television, again, there's like Oh my God. After looking at that 2025 preview from Entertainment Weekly, I was like, oh yeah, there's a million shows that are out. Isn't there a new version of Suits coming out?
Suits LA.
I did not put that on my list, but and then there's Dexter. I did not put that on my list.
Dexter Uprising. What's it called? It's Dexter Born Again.
Dexter Born Again. Dexter Uprising. I think isn't it Resurrect or something? Am I wrong? I don't know. They're coming out with another Dexter, but there's a lot of shows.
I will not be watching that one.
No, I'm not watching Dexter. You're out of your mind. What do you think I am? I'm not sick anymore. I don't need to watch Dexter anymore. When I was watching Dexter, I was in a hole, a dark space.
And
The Office. Sorry, there's so many.
Right,
they're redoing The Office.
Is that coming this year?
I think so. I think The Office, Dexter, and the first one we said. Those are like the 3 reboots or whatever you want to call them.
And we don't have Peacemaker on our list either.
Oh my God.
Like that's gonna be.
I didn't put. It's
gonna
be
pretty good. I think. I love Peacemaker season 1.
Wait a minute. Sorry, let me look at my list one more time. I don't think I would have put If anything,
Peacemaker
I would have probably taken
out.
Yeah, I was like, I would have maybe pushed down Wednesday, but I'm more interested in Wednesday than Peacemaker. But I do love Peacemaker.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. A great year coming up. Now, next week on New Rockstar, let's just talk about like January in New Rockstars because, we are wrapping up our Harry Potter rewatch series. Go check out all of those. Also, throughout the holiday week, I posted like our staff picks of our favorite videos of 2024. Watch those videos if you haven't had a chance to watch them because some of them just kind of flew under the radar with our viewers, and we all think that they're wonderful little gems that we'd love for you to check out. Looking ahead in January, we're going to have a pretty busy year. Before you know it, Captain America Brave New World's going to be here in February, and it will be Super Bowl week where I'm sure we'll get a trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. But in the month of January, we're going to be finishing Creature Commandos. We're going to break down all of that. We'll be continuing our coverage of Skeleton Crew, which has been a wonderful show. We will be doing videos about Severance. I don't know if we'll be covering it every episode, but we will be covering it in some way. And then we will have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man coming out at the end of the month. So we'll be breaking down that show as well. And then not too long after that, we'll have Daredevil Born Again. So our Road to Born Again rewatch series will also be happening throughout the year of 2025. So we're very excited.
The Road to Born Again. The Road to Born Again. The Road to Born Again. Yeah, I love that. That makes more sense than the dialogue in Craven. Sorry, I'm bringing it back. Someone also tweeted at me and was like, Jessica, if you tell me to watch Craven, I'm going to be so mad at you. And I was like, I never told you to go see that movie. But it is a bad movie.
All right, let's end with what we're watching from this week. What's something else that I know we've talked about a lot of different titles, but what's another show that you've been checking out?
I don't know. I've been playing too much Marvel Rivals.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, well, it is a problem when Evan was like, I took naps and like slept through the weekend. Sometimes I couldn't go to sleep. And every time I checked my Xbox, you were online playing Marvel Rivals. And I was like, thanks, Evan.
He got you.
I said, thanks, Evan. And it's so funny because my roommate was like, you have to put yourself on invisible so people don't see that you're on at like 2 a.m. Yeah. You were on at like noon, but you're also up at 4 a.m. still playing. So that's all I've been doing is playing Marvel Rivals. Anytime I have a free time, I'm like, let me go play Marvel Rivals.
That sounds fun.
Very fun.
Let's see. Kelly and I watched Bridget Jones' Diary, a movie that
my God.
I have seen, but I forgot that I saw parts of it. It's great.
Yeah.
It is really good.
I love Bridget Jones'
It is a ridiculous but very, very funny movie that explores some interesting sexual politics in the workplace that like rightfully gets like reprimanded and judged in this movie, but it goes pretty far.
Yeah.
before anyone says anything.
I used to love Bridget Jones' Diary. That's a good one. Was that Kelly's choice?
Well, we wanted to watch a holiday movie, and we both have like the movies we watch every year. And then I was like, oh, Bridget Jones' Diary, as I was scrolling through one of the streaming, and I'm like, that's kind of a Christmas thing, right? And she goes, it is, in that it kind of like led to Love Actually.
I was about to say, you didn't want to watch Love Actually?
No, I don't want to watch Love Actually. That movie's trash. What I did
Everybody
watch.
hates Love Actually.
Damn it, I meant to say, go watch this movie, Netflix, Carry On.
Carry On.
The Taron Egerton.
I've heard good
TSA
things about
movie.
this. Yeah, I've heard actually good things about it.
Good.
I love
It's
him.
a little long for what kind of movie it needs to be. It's like a phone booth Or like that 90s Johnny Depp, Christopher Walken movie, In the Nick of Time.
In the Nick of Time.
Not a good movie, but it's a very similar type story where a TSA agent is kind of blackmailed into letting something go through security. And it's such a good thing that like as you're watching, you're like, it's another Netflix movie, to where it's like 80% of a good movie as best, but it's missing something. And as you're watching, suddenly halfway through the movie, you're like, holy shit. They just did an Alfonso Cuarón shot in the middle of this movie, and I am hooked. And everything that happens after that in the movie is also very good. So just like, you'll know the shot when you get to it. It comes out of nowhere. And this movie suddenly goes from like a B to like an A minus.
But that's great. That went from a B to an A. Like, that's great.
It's good. Yeah, I think. And the only gripe I have for it is you can see the Netflix algorithm at work where they're like, this will be a Christmas movie because Die Hard is a Christmas movie. But Die Hard just slightly references Christmas in that they play like who is it, like Sugar Hill Gang's like Christmas jingle in the beginning when he's going to Nakatomi Tower, and then otherwise they just play a Christmas song at the end after the explosion. Otherwise, just kind of something you could watch any time of year.
So is it like him traveling for Christmas? Is
it's
that what
on,
it is?
It takes place on Christmas Eve, one of the busiest travel days of the year.
That's true.
And they reference Christmas constantly. And I'm sure Netflix just told them to do that because they're like, people will watch this during Christmas time. So just remind them that it's Christmas.
I will say that I love these directors and writers that are getting like their shot with Netflix movies. Because what was the Aaron Pierre movie that came out this year that we liked? We liked that one too.
We broke it down. God.
Yeah, what was it? Oh my
Rebel
God.
Ridge.
Rebel Ridge. We liked that one too. And I was like, I think these people are now, because they at the beginning of the year, Netflix revealed like everything that's on the docket. We didn't put Squid Game. Oh, well, that's coming out this year.
It's already
Christmas.
out. Maybe by the time you're watching it.
Never mind. So they put out a docket of everything they're coming out with this year, and that movie's trailer was in that docket. And I was like, let me look at it. And I was like, this is a crazy concept. And I'm only watching it because Taron Egerton is in it. And but recently this week, I've been seeing press and people talking about it. And they're like, it's a good movie.
Jason Bateman plays a villainous role that is very good for him. It's kind of like an extension of what he did in Ozark.
I was like, in Ozark.
But he's just so good in this part. And like literally the Christmas stuff is bullshit. I'm not spoiling anything by saying there's like an opening scene of like a weapons handoff that could happen in any parking garage or any location. And it happens at a Christmas tree lot
and
for no reason. They just put it in a Christmas tree lot.
Damn it.
Where all the shit goes down.
Christmas.
And that happens throughout the movie. But it's wonderful. Check it out.
Okay, I will. I'm so excited. I'm glad I got this stamp. I've been seeing so much. It's been showing up in my algorithm, and I'm like,
it's good.
Oh, yeah. These people look like they're having fun. I should probably go watch this
It's pretty fun. All right, we'll leave it there. This, I think, will be our final sneak peek episode of 2024. It's been a wonderful year hosting this show with you every week, Jessica. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
And for sharing your thoughts on everything.
I keep looking at my list to be like, which is my Joker Folia do? Which one is my Joker Folia do?
You played it pretty safe. I don't think any of your
last year, I was being wild. Well, to be fair, we all had different interpretations of what Joker Folia do is going to be.
We all thought it was
like musicals, you were like, oh my God, Lady Gaga's coming to be Harley Quinn. Oh God,
Well, we'll have another year ahead of this ongoing podcast, and it's going to be very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Everyone stay safe out there. Spend some time with family. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you in January. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.